this is a gauntlet. I have two, one for each hand, funnily enough. Now, why do you wear these? Well, if you're a medieval reenactor, you wear them so your hands don't get dinged or bruised, or you keep your fingers. So, you've got your gauntlets and your sword. Chuck on your helmet, and you've got the absolute basics of what you need. Okay, so these gauntlets were made by Hanwei, and so is this sword. Now this sword's a Norman long sword, and it's a one-handed sword, which works for me. Now if you look closely, the pommel actually kind of sits in the palm just a tad because the gauntlets are slightly too big, but that's the downside of mass-produced armour, is that it's a one-size-fits-all sort of thing. It doesn't bother me too much because, I mean, they're there to protect my fingers and hands, which is, you know, I need them. But one thing I don't like is pommel strikes become almost palm strikes, and yeah, I do quite like to use every part of the sword at my disposals if I can. But I've been doing that less because of the oversized gauntlets. But I've still got all my fingers. I haven't had a bruised hand in ages from sparring, which is fantastic. Now, you'll notice that they're quite ornate with the brass details, and that is, these ones are based upon the, is it Wisby plate? I hope so. 13 something or other, because I am terrible with dates. And the sword, well, 10... Well, you would have found these at the Battle of Hastings easily. 1066, good year apparently. Now, I kind of get away with using this sword by saying, oh well, it was passed through the family. So here I am using plate that is, you know, 300 years later, and I've got a Norman longsword. And I just say, well, hey, it's okay because it was passed through the family and it's been looked after. So I get away with it. But there are people here and there that do complain about that. So, in closing, because I probably should, because this is a bit of a ramble, Hanwei make great blades. It's spring steel. I haven't had any trouble with it. It's been amazing to use for the past 3 years. They make good gloves, or gauntlets. They are slightly oversized, but if you know someone who knows what they're doing, you could easily adjust them somehow. More people should use Norman longswords.